So welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we're going to be doing a season event called Racing Through the Years in the decade of the 1960s. They did have in the previous season Racing Through the Years from the 1950s, but that only had a reward of a car that we've already got and we've already reviewed, especially in terms of a previous game, whereas this, even though it is a car that we have reviewed before on Forza Motorsport 7 I think, it is a car that is new to this game. So, not new to the series of Forza, but new to this game, so thought it'd be worth, you know, racing through the three events in three different cars from the 1960s to get the new exclusive car. We're getting there in one of my favourite cars from the 60s, though it's not eligible for this series, the Sunbeam Tiger. And yeah, it was sunny before I started recording, but then it suddenly started raining, so yeah, didn't choose a convertible while it was raining. That would have been silly, but nonetheless, cracking vehicle this. Easily one of my favourite convertibles, and certainly one of my favourites from the 60s. And yeah, right, so we're nearly here. The burbling of that Ford V8 under the bonnet of this car to singles all the way there. If another Ford doesn't get in the way, well, another car doesn't get in the way. I thought that was a Ford Raptor then originally. Right. So we'll be in yeah, like I said, three different cars during the course of this event.
Remember, keep your eyes on the road. You can admire the autumn views after you finish this championship.
So yeah, there it is cross country, but we'll still should have some fun. So yeah, I'm going to get in a car that we've rarely ever been in the Oldsmobile Hertz Olds 442. Got a decent amount of horsepower, 384, a hell of a lot of torque at 500, from a 7.4 litre V8 engine, and yeah, weighs a fair bit, as is typical of 60s muscle cars, but yeah, should be able to put its weight around on a cross-country circuit, which is what we're dealing with this event. Not the ideal conditions for a non-off-road vehicles, because we don't have any off-road vehicles to choose from, but still, should be fun enough, especially in a car like this, which has plenty of torque to help us with any rough terrain and getting up any hillsides. Though obviously handling and braking is not all that great. But yeah, should hopefully be good enough. Bit unfair that they get to choose the Baja Volkswagen Beetle, but alas. And we're in last. Shouldn't be something that stays true though, because yeah, this might not have the best launch, but it does have all of that torque, and only a 3-speed manual, so it can quickly get through its gears and get to the best thing about this car, which is the acceleration. MG getting in the way there. Didn't even see it because of the water and the size of this vehicle. Triumph getting into trouble. So we're already making up places. There's one of my favourites, the Sunbeam Tiger. We're just in. Right, so it's a Charger and a Volkswagen Baja Bug up front, and a Camaro right behind me. Right, second lap, third place. The trickiest of course is this, but obviously we're in cars that, well, I am especially in a car that's not meant for doing this kind of thing really. And they just flattened the bug there. Beaten by a Volkswagen, even though obviously we are trying to win a Volkswagen by doing this event. If you saw the prizes at the beginning of the event when we chose it, it's a Volkswagen notchback. Like I said, we've already had it in a previous Forza game, but I am glad that they are adding at least cars that, you know, aren't in the game as standard as rewards, because they could easily do that as a reward. Just here's a Forza edition car or something, but the fact they're giving us cars that aren't in the game as standard is always good as far as I'm concerned, even if it is a car that we've had before. But we do have 2 Aston Martins that are coming later in the festival playlist that aren't cars that we've had before in a Forza game, so really looking forward to them. And yeah, I've already unlocked the Volkswagen Carmen gear, which is part of this season as well, so expect a review of that tomorrow. I haven't quite had the time to do it today, unfortunately, because yeah, the festival playlist season unlocks about 3:30 in the afternoon over here, so yeah, by the time I've got up to 50%, I really don't have the time to research and get my notes down to a T in time, so yeah, I do apologise, but that's just the way it goes. But we got first place there with the Oldsmobile, easily the fastest lap time there, nearly a second quicker than the Baja Bug there, and me and the Baja Bug were the only ones under a minute, so yeah, we were easily the fastest, so probably going to have to look out for him at some point. But yeah, let's move on to the next race, and yeah, I'll show you me choosing the vehicle as well. Right, so for this race I think we're going to go for something a little bit more European, in the form of the Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta Lusso. It doesn't have quite the power of the Oldsmobile at 250 horsepower and 215 pounds-feet of torque from a 3-litre V12 engine, but it is a lot lighter and does handle better as well, so yeah, hopefully it will stand us in good stead. Yeah, as much as the Oldsmobile obviously did in the previous race. So yeah, another car that I really enjoy. Again, another favourite from the decade. Though whether or not it's got to be able to handle this off-road elements on this cross-country course as well as the Oldsmobile, don't know, because obviously this, yeah, it's a lot more of a fragile car. It's not necessarily meant for everyday day-to-day use like the Oldsmobile would be. So yeah, hopefully it's good. Hate to drive a car that I really enjoy letting me down. Again, we've got 3 laps. Sort of the same course from last time, but not. Somehow we bullied a massive muscle car. Yeah, I do like doing these events because it gets me to drive, or lets me to drive even, cars that I necessarily wouldn't get the chance to in anything else. Granted, there are obviously some cars that I can't use in videos on their own because they're not fully viewable in Forza Vista or anything like that. And if they do get a video on their own, they're usually going to be in something there where they've been massively upgraded and they're not the stock version anymore. So yeah, doing these kind of videos does obviously give me the chance to drive vehicles like this, or the Oldsmobile in particular, while also showing off the kind of vehicles that I do like from certain decades or out of certain categories. But yeah, I do plan on doing, like, you know, top 10 vehicles from a certain decade. Might only do top 10 vehicles from the 50s and before, because there aren't that many from the 40s and 30s to choose from. And only 2 from the 20s that I could choose from, and that wouldn't quite make a top 10, would it? So yeah, it might make a top 10 for the 50s and before, and then 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties and 2010s. Because yeah, as much as there are plenty of times I've done top 10s where I've shown off certain vehicles, a lot of the time they're only the one car out of one decade, and that's not very fair or representative of such a decade, especially like something from the 60s or 70s where there's quite a wide variety of vehicles on this game from those decades. So yeah, it'd be nice to show off the kind of cars that I enjoy from those decades that might not necessarily get the limelight in any other area. We're struggling a little bit, can't keep up with an original Mustang by the looks of things. Because it is quite a lightweight car, any of the road furniture is slowing it down a fair bit. third place would at least be a salvageable thing. Oh dear, yeah, we failed on this one, I think. Yeah, the finish line's only there and the Mustang's gone. And we've even overtaken by the Charger, so let's at least keep fourth. Yeah, the Ferrari's not done me in good stead here. I really didn't take into account the lightweightness of it. Not being fortuitous in terms of dealing with road furniture. So yeah, we're going to have to settle fourth there. Hopefully that doesn't take us too much of a no-dive in terms of points. No, we're still in first, though joint first with two other people, so we're going to look out for the Cortina and the Dodge Charger. So yeah, got to look out for them, otherwise we're going to be really screwed over. So yeah. Nonetheless, let's get on to the next race. So the gamble with the Ferrari obviously didn't really pay off, so yeah, I'm wondering about whether or not to play it a little safe this time round. But what with? Tempted to go for the Corvette, because again, like the Ferrari is reasonably lightweight, but it's got a bit more power, and that little bit of extra weight should help it with any road furniture, and it's hardly a slow vehicle. Yeah, alright. I know I've only recently reviewed the original Corvette, and this is obviously part of that original first generation, but yeah, this is the classic version of the first generation that everybody knows, with the quad headlights and the V8 engine, which the first version of the first generation didn't have. Not on this until 1955 in terms of the V8 engine, that is. But yeah, should hopefully do us a little bit better than the Ferrari, but we do need to keep ahead of the two people that are joint points with us. Then obviously we won't get first place, and we won't get the car that we've come here for. Two Chargers are trying to kill each other. By all means go ahead, as long as it lets me in front. So yeah, not quite as good in terms of handling as the Ferrari, but that little bit of weight and that little bit of extra power and torque should help us with any road furniture that we have to deal with. If we have to deal with anything. This does look a little tamer than before. Makes me laugh that up front we've got a similarly laid out car, the Sunbeam front engine V8, which is similarly sized as well, and rear wheel drive, but look at the size difference between what a sports car from the UK is and a sports car from the US. This is practically twice as wide. Nonetheless, we've easily got past, and we're keeping up with the Chargers despite them having way more power and torque than me. They also weigh a lot more as well, which is the one big advantage with Corvettes. Always been their more lightweight body compared to the muscle cars of whatever era they're a part of. Big shame that I can't review this car because it's not fully reviewable in Forza Vista, because yeah, it's always been one car I've been wanting to review, and that's one thing I hope that changes with the next Forza Motorsport game, is that every car is viewable to some extent in Forza Vista, at least the engine bay. Wouldn't expect it with, you know, every car in terms of the rear passenger compartment if it's a four-door car, or in terms of the boot, but at least the engine bay, and then I can review cars like this, because yeah, it is a classic, and yeah, it's the truly first quick sports car from America. Though not quite as quick as a Charger, as you can see, but that's no surprise. It's got way more power than I do. And a much larger V8. I do like the look at this vehicle as well. So well proportioned. Come on, not much longer. On the last lap after all. My big worry is that if we don't have enough of a lead over him before we get to the straight, then we're going to be overtaken before we get to the finish line. Because as good as this is in terms of handling compared to the Charger, I don't think there's a big enough gap to make up the difference in terms of his acceleration over mine. Guess we're going to find out. $290 horsepower versus 425. Are we going to make it? Yes, we are. Not by much though. But there was that very real chance that we would have been overtaken if the gap was slightly smaller, but we did have by far the fastest lap there. But we're only a little over a second quicker than the Charger, which, when you consider how much better handling this car has and better braking and a lot less in terms of weight, that's not that much. But yeah, got all of the prizes. Got the Volkswagen notchback, 25 grand, and 15 grand on top of that. So nice amount of money, but the big reward there is obviously the Volkswagen, which we'll take a quick look at. Not going to review it because obviously I've done a review on it on the previous Forza Motorsport game, but I will be reviewing the Common Gear, like I said, tomorrow. Because I was planning on reviewing it on Forza Motorsport 7, but then obviously it came on here, so it made more sense to review it on the newer game that I've been playing. So yeah, right, so let's just take a quick look at the Volkswagen notchback if you've never seen it before. So yeah, it's a Type 3, it's basically the follow-on from the Volkswagen Beetle. And yeah, it's a pretty all-round decent vehicle really. I really rather enjoyed it when I first reviewed it way back with Forza Motorsport 7, so yeah, decent amount of horsepower and torque. Doesn't weigh all that much, though it does weigh more than a Beetle from a slightly larger engine, but yeah, looks better than a Beetle, and yeah, it's faster than a Beetle as well, because yeah, that's got 65 and 87, whereas Beetle has, where is it? You can never find them. Has 40 and 65, so yeah, fair old difference there. That's 3.7 acceleration and 4.1 speed. This is 4.6 speed and 3.8 acceleration. And the handling's better as well, as you can see. So yeah, cracking vehicle. I'll probably use this in an extreme off-road silly build video or something, but you will see it in some form eventually. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.